Hello, Virgo. This one's for you. Okay, so this is Tarot Illumination with your love and relationship report for June 2017. And that's you, Virgo, okay? And that's the other. I would invite you, it's almost like I insist that you watch the uh, Love and Relationship June playlist, All Signs introduction video, because it'll help you understand this reading a lot better, okay? I keep the readings really stripped down, bare bones, and try to get the most out of it. But sometimes it really helps to understand the spread and the energy behind the reading itself, okay? Instead of just Tarot Illumination sitting here just pulling out a string of cards and, one after the other, this leads to this, to this, to this, to this, to this. No, no, no. There is a bigger, broader purpose here, okay? So also, Virgo, as you know, I don't do reversals. I don't have any jumpers and flyers and magic oracle cards right now. I haven't done that this month. I tried it once and it was fun. I might do it again next round of reports. We'll see. But right now it's just stripped down, bare bone. I had to due to time issues, I had to really prioritize what's really, really important for the energy that I can put out to you in these readings. So I do the best I can for you, okay? So Virgo, I'm shuffling right up to the very last second so that you are a witness. I did shuffle the cards very well in advance, okay? But I like to take it right up to the very last second so that you are a witness, all right? We're almost there, okay? And I'm just going to do some big chunky. All right, here we go. I'm going to do it very extreme cut. I want to really break up the energy, okay? Like that, like that. All right, what have we got? Let's have a look at you, okay? Let's have a look at a significant other. This could be someone that you're attracting to you in spirit, or someone you've been with a long time, or something that is blossoming and growing right now as we speak. We don't know. That's your business. You reinterpret this however you want, Virgo. This is just a general, broad love relationship reading just for the dynamics, and as opposed to a very personal approach. This is going deeper into you, what's actually going on inside of you with this relationship, Virgo, and the same for them. What's going on inside of them in the context of this relationship? And what exactly is the status of this relationship right now? Well, not exactly, but where does it feel like it is right now? And given that status, what does that hold for its unfolding? Interesting. So a lot of people like to know what's the actual environment around the relationship. I call it the weather because sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. It's just energy fields in which you have to operate. And dear Virgo, this is like the Queen of Pentacles energy, which is in a way, it's almost like your kind of energy anyway. This is the energy, forget the gender. This is the Queen of Pentacles, but it could be a guy if you're watching this, but this is more to do with the energy of that kind of Virgo energy that is almost unnoticed and unappreciated by others, where Virgos have so much to offer. They do so much for others. They share so much. They don't expect any great prizes or awards or ceremonies or trophies or anything. They're just like taking care of what needs to be done so that the world can function in an orderly manner. And they have so much generosity in that capacity. One of the challenges about general Virgo energy in general is that they can almost give it away too much, where they become, what was that movie out recently? Was it Cinderella? A very big, beautiful, romantic fairy tale movie, incredible wardrobe and stuff going on. And then there's the prince, and then there's the princess, and she's beautiful and he's handsome. But she has to go through this life where she's like really not appreciated. She does so much for others, and a lot of them take it for granted. It's like, well, that's just who he is. That's what she does. Well, don't knock it. Don't knock her. She just likes doing that and being that way. And there is wealth. It's the energy of wealth and abundance inside that energy field. Understanding that um, the environment itself and being able to operate in that environment of abundance is where the joy lies. In other words, you're not looking to be celebrated. Look how well I washed the dishes today. Look at me, everybody. It doesn't happen very often. Like, a lot of people don't get a prize just for showing up at work and doing their job. It's just stuff has to be done, and Virgo is really, really good at that, of taking care of what needs to be done. And value and abundance is created in that process. Now, the beauty of the Virgo type energy here, which I feel this is almost like your energy anyway, is that you are aware that in the most subtle, unexpressed ways, you are creating your own abundance as you go along. And in so doing, you plant and fertilize seeds of abundance for yourself and for others that turn into your own nurturing, so to speak. So in a very gentle way, dear Virgo, it feels to me that you are operating in a condition and an environment which is very nutritious and nutritive for you, and you are appreciating it and enjoying it for what it is, even if it's in very modest, simple ways. The energy of abundance there is extremely strong. Okay, so what's going on with you? Okay, dear Virgo, you might be dealing with issues and matters of the heart in the purest, most innocent way that are leaving you perhaps, like maybe say, perplexed or confused or delighted, or a combination of both. It's almost like there's a certain beautiful innocence and naivety here for you, Virgo, in June, where you might be um, sweetly, innocently puzzling over this energy of love in your life. How does it actually work? What is this stuff? I've always known about it, of course. I'm just naturally very loving. And I can't help myself, but you know, I'm just realizing that there's perhaps more going on than I ever thought or imagined, and I wonder what it is. I'd like to get involved. I'd like to I'd like to see what it's like. There's the big energy there, the big heavy wave energy, and that can be a little bit intimidating, but it feels like you haven't really noticed because you've also realized that that's where the love lies. It's like it's in these like deep ocean currents where you can get swept along, where there's a lot more like nutrition and life and abundance than you ever knew existed before. And like, why wouldn't I want some of that? Why wouldn't I share that with someone else if I had that? And why wouldn't they share that with me if they had that too? Wouldn't that be so cool? Wouldn't that be just so cool? Wow. I wonder what happens next. I'm not really sure, but I intend to find out. I'm very, very curious. I'm very, very curious. Um, so let's just have a look. What's going on with the other? Okay. Well, the other seems to be hard at work trying to put together some nuts and bolts in their part in the relationship so that it actually has a chance of viability. They might be deeply focused on work to the point where there is a reason for it. And that can be very healthy because, dear Virgo, you do understand the energy of work, probably more than any other sign, in that it can be a grind, but that's what needs to be done. This is a very, very noble energy. This is someone who fully understands the value of work and craft and putting in the time to do what has to be done because they are willing to, in other words, they are very aware of the value of what's happening here, and they're not going to take it for granted. This is someone who's decided, oh my, I'm going to make this work. This is not, I'm not going to leave this up to fate. I'm working at it. I'm totally ready, willing, and able to do my part. I understand it, and I might be concentrating a lot on that side right now. In other words, like, You know, like in a lot of relationships, money is important. Okay, it's very hard to conduct a modern 21st century relationship without a flow, like a cash flow. Money has to come in because money goes out. Almost everything that we do in life, in outside the front door, so to speak, outside in the big wide world, is conducted through transactions and a lot of stuff that's called work. And you do what you have to do. Whoever this is, they are probably very focused on their craft, their skill, and making the absolute best of it so that it has the maximum possible value, specifically for the benefit of the relationship. It's not just about them. They're very deeply vested in the relationship, and they have every intention of making it work. It's very wholesome here. It's not glamorous or anything. It's actually almost kind of like sweaty and dirty. And it's just like it involves time, dedication, and um, a lot of perseverance to take care of that side of a relationship. So I don't think there's any sense of being overburdened here. I think they're actually getting off on it. I think this other party over here is kind of getting off on the idea like there's something really cool happening here. I'm not sure what it is, um, but I'm definitely going to work at it. I want to see this thing happen. I want it. I want all that stuff over there, way, way in the background that lots of other people seem to have. I want that too, and I'm willing to work at it. And so there's a lot of beauty and like simple, like down to earth innocence here, which is evident in the relationship. Okay. Now let's go a little deeper. What's going on inside of you, Virgo? Deeper down. Wow. It might require, in order to, let's say, enjoy the value of this relationship, it might require having to, like, wrestle deep within, going very, very, very deep within oneself, becoming very vividly aware of the ego self, like the raw animal side of your own nature, something that you might have never truly bothered to explore or understand before. But it becomes evident that it needs to be examined and understood because you are a human being, dear Virgo. You have passions and lusts and desires. You have essential needs that need to be fulfilled. You have desires and passions and dreams and ambitions of your own, that in a lower vibration frequency might just sound like the ego wants to take charge. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to be that. I want to be that. And this energy here is more about like coming to terms and realizing your own ambitions, so to speak, and that they might be coming into like a form of manifestation that requires a lot of, let's just say, spiritual self-examination, excuse me, and coming to terms with competing energies inside your system. In other words, there might be the natural way that you've been going, which is like the raw animal self, which is perhaps how you've been conducting yourself since forever, and that's all you've known. And then you're coming to a realization that there's this whole other, much more high frequency, highly evolved aspect of the nature that is coming into play, where like the raw animal side of the self has to be balanced out with spirit, the super high vibration parts of your entity, your existence. And now this isn't about the relationships. I feel that this is very much deeply to do with you. Um, it's like bringing purpose and spirituality and meaning to your passions, so that it all combines into one thing, where it's almost like you're sensing like a chance to rise into your own power and tap into your real strength, your real who you really, really are, in a way that you may have never had a chance before. So this is perhaps a really good opportunity for you here in June to become aware of that. But it's a question, but this is still in play. In other words, it's almost like fighting with oneself, okay? Trying to wrestle and understand these energies, taming the passions and taming like the raw energy and bringing it into balance with spirit so that you can conduct yourself with all the best of intentions without messing up. Because at this point in this reading, in general, it might be that, you know, no criticism, no fault of your own. You just might be very naive in certain matters of the heart. You might be very advanced in some aspects, but you might be very naive in others. And that's okay. All of us are naive about certain aspects of our relationships and the love energy that we radiate and vibrate outward into this world. Okay? That's normal, that's natural, but it's quite pronounced here. In other words, yes, there might be a degree of innocence, but you just happen to be in a situation where you've got all the telltale signs that something really delicious is happening, and it's probably almost something that almost came out through your own volition. It's almost like what you wished for, because this is almost the natural state of being anyway, where you already knew and you know deep down that you have so much to share, that you have so much to offer, so much passion bubbling up inside. But this is very, very like almost embryonic, new, and it is starting to blossom and coming into balance with the self. In other words, the soul and the will. In other words, bringing alignment between, let's just say, so that you surrender to the will of heaven, so to speak, as opposed to the will of the ego. And that's no small task. It means like, it's almost like I give this relationship over to its highest good. And I may not fully understand it, but I see and sense the abundance there, because obviously this other person sees it and is more than happy to invest. And I already know deep down that I have it in me. I just may have never had the circumstance before, and I'm just innocently becoming aware. So that's good. And I want it. I want it. I want it. I'm passionate about this, and I'm willing to work at it and go through whatever has to be done. All right, let's have a look. What's going on deeper inside of them? Okay, it's almost like it's about effing time. Okay, that's how they're looking at it. Like they might have been working for lifetimes over and over again, putting in all this energy to invest in a relationship. And they're at a point where, like, yeah, I really, really want this to happen. I want to make it happen. And I want it done really properly to the highest standards of spiritual code, so to speak. And not this doesn't have to be such a cold card here. I mean, the King of Pentacles means no harm. The King of Swords means no harm, but often, sometimes the King of Swords is interpreted as being like almost utterly cold and ruthless. Not like the Queen of Swords, who is often considered purely cold and ruthless, but very, very logical and pure and true, and totally intolerant of any untruth. This is a little bit more magnanimous of a type of energy. It's almost yeah, like the other person over here is more than eager to conduct a relationship to this standard, where in partnership with yourself, where you are operating at this very high level of integrity that you have chosen to impose upon yourself, they feel inspired to come up and rise up to their highest level of integrity, where they can actually shine, where all their work and investment allows them to rise up and shine in themselves and become an inspirational leader for others, if that makes any sense to you. Even for you in the relationship, where it's like you feel inspired and led by someone who has been looking forward to being in a position where they can inspire and lead and conduct themselves with authority and integrity and total honesty for the best good, not of yourself or themselves, but for the whole of the relationship and everything that comes out of the relationship. Because your relationship here, dear Virgo, isn't just about you and the other. It's about all the energy that you bring into the world as a result of this relationship, because this is a crucible, okay? And you are working things out with yourselves through the others, okay, Virgos? So by submitting yourself to the crucible, being willing to dive into a crucible where you know, by definition, sparks will fly, energy will transmute, and uh, things will happen that might uh, upset this innocence. It seems like the intentions are good, and it's just a question of like, how is it all going to be expressed and shared generously between yourselves and each other, and how that would show to the rest of the world, okay? Because I have a feeling this significant other um, has ambitions, okay, for the relationship that they share with you, okay? So let's have a look. What's the status right now at the moment? Okay, it's almost like a hell of a lot has been going on, and it's been very passionate and very demanding in some ways. And Virgo, this is your reading, okay, for you, for your relationship with another soul, another entity, whoever this might be, family member. It would be typically another half. It is supposed to be a love and relationship reading, so I think a lot of people who are watching this would see it as a significant other. And so, in the context of the crucible, where a lot of stuff has been submitted to the tests and the fires, so to speak, where a tremendous amount of uh, fuel is burning, where there's tremendous passion, um, it might be like you're at a point where you have to understand you don't want this to burn out, okay? Because it looks like you have invested a lot of your own heart and love and energy into this. You've got all the resources, you have the sweetest, most innocent intentions, and you do intend to get the most out of this and the best out of this for yourself, because you see the potential for yourself to rise into your own strength, your own passions, your own power by going through a spiritual evolution and transformation in alignment with someone else who has equally vested values in the relationship and sees the value of the relationship and is very determined to make the most of it. It might be that at this present moment, you can give yourself a break because you're not going to lose it. It's not going to go anywhere. It's excuse me. It's just that you might, because you're. It might be that you're very like so content in your ways already. You have so much abundance already. Like, why mess with that? And yet here we are dealing with something beautiful, new, and innocent, with a lot of potential. And in the process, since this is your reading for your relationship, you might have invested a lot of passion to get to this very moment in time. And you realized this is not something you're going to throw away. Okay. There's no way you're going to allow for burnout. So it's almost like the decision that um, now that you're realizing that it's a two-way dynamic, there's people involved here, and it is a crucible. It isn't just you and your private world. If you do value this, if there is the innocence here, you could, in the innocence, it's easy to burn out because you might not be aware of deeper level dynamics that need to be invested in a relationship long term in order to endure the way the other party might understand. And so you don't want to be a victim of burnout, so to speak, because that happens so easily. People dismiss relationships so quickly if they don't manifest in the way they want, the way they think they want, so quickly that they just give it up and abandon on it, or they can't handle the transmutations, or they can't handle the the pain of innocence, which can lead to mishaps, so that the temptation might be to throw it away rather than work at it. But also, please understand that since this is the status of the relationship, this isn't about them or about you. This is the relationship itself that you kind of own in hand with the other. uh, it's okay to start thinking like it isn't all about me anymore, because this energy is very much about having put yourself in a position of making yourself indispensable to yourself and others. And that's actually a challenge. That's actually a problem where, like, what's going to happen if I, in other words, it's like if you're in a relationship dynamic situation here uh, where like if you are, okay, you've been handling all your own issues inside of yourself personally, and everyone else is taking who you are and what you are, how you have things for granted. I'm talking in the bigger, wider world, and in the relationship itself. You realize that it isn't just about you, it is about the other, and it's a shared experience. That if you allow yourself to burn out as though it's only about you, then basically you're going to, throw something away that's beautiful. So by accepting that the fact that it is more than about just you, that it is a shared experience, you can, like, take a load off for a while. You can actually say, you know what, we've been through a lot here. We've been through a lot. There's no way I'm going to allow burnout. I can see how it happens. We are going to prevail. I, Virgo, I intend to prevail. But I'm realizing now that I can't do this all on my own. Okay? Whatever lies ahead, it's a joint effort. And I might have to settle down and understand that um, uh, I need to, like, it's almost like surrendering and letting go of like something very passionate already that means so much, and just saying, you know what, the world will continue without me anyway. It's okay to chill down and take a break and allow all of this to unfold. Let's just see where it's going. Let's see where it heads. Oh, wow, magnificent. Like it's almost like a blind awakening, like a truth unfolding. This is very beautiful opportunity here, uh, dear Virgo. This is a card of sacred opportunity. So you're very lucky to have this here. Notice how that there's no love cards at all. It's more about the energy and understanding the value of the relationship, the passion of the relationship, what the relationship means to you in your own unfolding, what it means to the other in their own unfolding, understanding that there is potential for burnout if you just consume each other and treat each other like a consumable commodity, and realizing that that's not good. That's not healthy. There are other ways to conduct oneself and move on by admitting and accepting that it is a full-on relationship. It's the full-on real deal thing. Two very, very different people who are coming from very different perspectives, but who both dearly and truly understand the wealth and the value that exists in the relationship, and that the more they invest in the relationship, the more wealth and value they can enjoy and share with each other and the rest of the world at large. And that, dear Virgo, is a blindingly beautiful realization. So the question is, because this is an Ace of Swords, it's the energy of opportunity. It's almost like, bam, it lands here in your life as a stark, blinding awakening. And it's a chance to recognize the truth of what's actually happening here, as opposed to what everybody thought was happening, or what you thought, or what everyone else was telling you is happening. It's almost like having a blinding awareness, almost where, like, wow, this is an opportunity to, like, tap into my own truth and wear that crown one day, where I really truly am functioning at this kind of frequency, and still carrying the love of innocence. Sorry, I said earlier there's no love cards. This is a very important love card. Excuse me. Pardon me. So people, please don't write in about that in case you caught that boo-boo. We're just going to move on, okay? I'm sorry about that. So it might be that this is a very evolutionary type of relationship dynamic, which is allowing you to come into your own truth about yourself and who you really are. Not what you do, what you have, or whether they love you or not. It's already very evident that you are highly valued and highly appreciated, and they see the value of the relationship very evidently. And in so doing, you get the reciprocal affirmation that, wow, this could be awesome. This could be awesome, and it's worth continuing. It has the energy of, like, it's let's say, just say it's validated by nature in your surroundings. You can almost smell it in your world around you, and now it's becoming evident and clear. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a battle. It's more about an awakening and dealing with the issues internally, and without having to turn it into an external battle with a self or another, and allow the thing to unfold, because it's going to unfold in a way that's extremely beneficial to you, dear Virgo. It's like an awakening to your truth, your real truth about who you really are, and what and your place in the world, so to speak, in a way that's like let's just say divinely ordained. Like when this energy arrives, it is like a gift from heaven. So the question is, do you have the nerve and the strength to grab it and understand it for what it really is? Okay? Because obviously this person does, and they would love to see you rise up to this and see your own truth unfolding. And it doesn't have to be a struggle at all. It can be a beautiful experience. Okay? So Virgo, I hope you get something out of that. We do what we can here at Tarot Illumination, and if it doesn't make sense, sit on it for a day or so, and then read for your sun, moon, and rising, and maybe this will mush in better with a parallel reading. Okay? A lot of the people coming here do that anyway. They just automatically read their sun, moon, and rising. Okay? So please make the best of it. I hope you have a wonderful June. Dear Virgo, bye-bye. Take care.